Hello Internet. In today's video, I'd like to talk about how to get historical futures data using Python and Google Colab. So the Google Colab, as you can see here, is essentially a Jupyter notebook that is already available to you. You don't need to install anything locally. It's already provided here. So there is this website called Barchart. Barchart provides historical data or not only historical data, provides also any kind of financial data from today or any business day. So you can use that website to get the data, but how can you get the data programmatically and also for free? Because sometimes it's quite difficult or too much manual labor involved to get this individual contracts and then download the individual contracts and then start to analyze. So there is a better way of doing it, and in today's video I'd like to show you how. So for example, Barchart, if you want, let's say, this Bitcoin micro August 2021 futures contract, which is historical contract, so how can you get it? How can you get the data and analyze it? Okay, let's start. So first you will need to have a premium account, but the premium is for free, so you can get it for 30 days without paying anything. You get your historical data, and once you have your historical data, then it's perfectly fine, and then you can just cancel the contract, right? And that's it. So okay, let's get started. So before that, we need to have this particular package that is done already. bc-utils is done by that person. He has contributed to open source, so we can use his code to get the data out, right? So open it. So you can Google Colab, and then you can open here the notebook, and once you open, you can see it here. So before we get started, first we need to get from the GitHub that code. So in order to get this, you just did exclamation mark git clone, and you clone his repo. Once you have cloned his repo, you should be able to see it here, right? Let's see, yeah, bc-utils. So the next step is we need to step into that folder. So the way to do it, you say bcd bc-utils. So you will be in the folder, and you can check what files you see. Okay, you are in the folder, right? So next thing, you can import now the packages. You can import the packages. Perfect. So that means you have access to it. Then we import the contract map. The contract map is just, one moment I will show you, just contains all the information about different contracts which are available here, different futures contracts, and also the cycle for that contract. If we look, for example, on the contract map, the keys, you will see what is currently supported, right? In our example, we want to look at the contract which is Bitcoin. So if we say, okay, show me first of all the metadata for that contract. It's here defined. So you can see the code is BA. You can see here the code is BA. Then what are the cycle? These are the expiry months that Bitcoin is trading on. There are different futures contracts for different expiry. And yes, so that's all we need. So now let's start defining the information we want from Barchart. We want the contract Bitcoin with the start year 21 and year 22. The path is just saying where we want to store our data. We want to store our data here once we downloaded it. So we create a folder here. When we run it, you will see it. Over here, we will call it Bitcoin. And then we specify the contracts we're interested in. So once you run that command, you will see that a folder appears on the left side, Bitcoin, right? This is where our data will be downloaded to. So next, we have to create a session. So the session will be, well, we need also to import OS, so because we need to run it. So and then we will be running importing the data. So basically we create a session that will communicate to the Barchart website, but here you need your username and password that you create. Once you create your premium account for 30 days, like I said, it's for free. You can always cancel it within 30 days. So then you get your username and your password, and that's what you need to use here. So I will quickly import the information here, and we will continue. Okay, so I have exported my global variables for username password, and once I run that cell, you will see I have created a session. So if I type session here, so it's clearly okay, that was a success. So now let's get the data. So once I execute that command here, that function get Barchart downloads with session, the contracts that I have defined here that are of interest to me. Basically, for now, I want to download the Bitcoin futures data. Where should it store it? It should be stored in this folder, and start and end here that we defined here. So once we run that cell, what happens now is we download each individual contract as a CSV file, and that gets stored into the Bitcoin folder. You see, we have already downloaded one. And so it takes around 3 minutes, maybe less, to get, we just want to get the data for 1 year. And we start in January, well, it is now 2021, 11, then 21, 12. So that means expiry in November, expiry in December. So we try to get all the expiries from 21. If you look back here, for example, 21 starts at Q. Q means is August. U means is September. Then V means October, November, December, right? X is November, Z is December. So that's what we're trying to do. We get the contracts now and we store them into individual files. Okay, so next we import pandas as PD, then we import list here to show all the files. And we also, that's the import, that's the libraries that we need for processing. Then we need a mapping between the month and the expiry code. You can see here, contract mapping. And then what we do now, I just copied the code. So what we need to do now is to iterate over all the paths. If, for example, I show you here in that new cell, you will see we have all the individual files that we just downloaded, meaning we iterate over each individual file in the list, and we take the year and the month and store it into separate variables, year, month, and then we read that particular file, for example, Bitcoin 2111. Then we create a new column and construct that contract, meaning we have BA, then the year, and then the month, converting to the character that is also visible here. Okay, we have a different, so Q21, right? So Q21 means we need to 4, and we need to change the year at the end. Okay, and so if we iterate over, we create a new column with the contract, then we append this data frame for that contract into the data, and then we concat all the data together. Okay, so if you look now at the data frame, you see all the contracts here. Contract, volume, close, low, high, open. So next, you want to visualize the contracts. And to visualize the contracts, you can say, let's say you want to see close data, BA, so you say reset index. Then you want to pivot the data, and you say, what is your index? Your index should be time. What are your columns? So the column should be contract. And what are your values? In that case, we can select volume, close, low, high, or open. Let's select close. And then we want to plot the data. And let's say the fixed size should be around 18.9. And then you will see each individual contract is plotted in the canvas, and you see the color associated with different contracts. And you can see the data that BAQ21, BAU21 is the data which comes from here. Okay, if you have any further questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a good weekend.